What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dino Man Podcast, episode number 16. I'm your host, Tyler Williams, and today we're talking about a brand new dinosaur discovery that's got paleontologists geeking out. Mexidracon longimanus. This dinosaur was just officially named, and trust me, it's a weird one. We're talking about a species with hands so long, they're longer than its shoulders. What was it doing with those things? Swinging through trees like a prehistoric Spider-Man? We're about to break it all down. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to subscribe if you want to see more episodes. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, let's start with the basics. Mexidracon was discovered in the Cerro del Pueblo Formation in Coahuila, Mexico. This area has been a gold mine for Late Cretaceous fossils, dating back roughly 73 million years. The fossils of Mexidracon were actually found back in 2014 near a place called Porvenir de Jalpa. But, as with most dinosaur discoveries, it took nearly a decade of research, comparison, and analysis before scientists could confidently say, yup, this is a brand new species. And in 2025, Mexidracon longimanus officially entered the dinosaur record books. Now the name itself is pretty cool. Mexidracon means Mexican dragon, which, let's be real, sounds impressive. And longimanus literally means long hands, because, well, you'll see. So, what kind of dinosaur are we dealing with here? Mexidracon belongs to a group of dinosaurs known as ornithomimids, also called ostrich dinosaurs. These were bipedal, fast-moving theropods with long legs, small heads, and in Mexidracon's case, ridiculously long arms. Picture this. You take an ostrich, give it extra long arms, and then stretch its fingers to almost cartoonish proportions. That's Mexidracon. Scientists found that its metacarpals, the bones in the palm of the hand, were exceptionally elongated, making its hands longer than its shoulders. For comparison, if humans had proportions like that, our fingers would probably reach down to our knees. Alright, so the big question. What was Mexidracon actually using these absurdly long hands for? The leading theory is that it used them for foraging. Maybe it was plucking fruit and leaves from high branches or reaching down into dense vegetation to grab food other dinosaurs couldn't get to. Some paleontologists think it could have used its hands to sweep through water, fishing for small prey, kind of like a prehistoric heron. And of course, there's always the possibility that those hands played a role in defense, maybe slapping away smaller predators or intimidating rivals. Imagine getting smacked by those things. Prehistoric backhand of doom. Now, Mexidracon isn't the only dinosaur with absurdly long arms. Therizinosaurus, like Therizinosaurus, had giant claws that they likely used for feeding and defense. And then there's Dinosaurus, another bizarre dinosaur with massive arms and claws. But Mexidracon is unique because it's in the ornithomimid family, where long arms like this aren't really common. So, why does Mexidracon matter? Well, first off, it's another piece of evidence that Mexico was home to a ton of unique dinosaur species. A lot of people think of North American dinosaurs and immediately go to the US and Canada. T-Rex, Triceratops, Velociraptor. But Mexico had its own incredible prehistoric ecosystem with dinosaurs you won't find anywhere else. Second, it challenges the understanding of ornithomimids. Most of them had pretty standard proportions, but Mexidracon throws a wrench in that. It makes us rethink how these dinosaurs evolved, what roles they played in their environment, and how different species adapted to different conditions. And finally, this discovery reminds us that the fossil record is far from complete. Who knows what else is hiding out there, just waiting to be found. Now here's an interesting thought. What does the discovery of Mexidracon tell us about prehistoric ecosystems in Mexico? For one, it suggests a higher level of biodiversity than we initially thought. When you think about the late Cretaceous, you probably imagine a world dominated by dinosaurs like T-Rex, Triceratops, and the famous sauropods. But what if Mexico had its own unique environment with specialized species like Mexidracon, adapted to fill very specific ecological niches? It's possible that Mexidracon's long arms gave it an advantage in foraging for food that other animals couldn't reach. This could have contributed to a balance in the ecosystem, with different species specializing in different resources. It's a reminder that we can't just think of the late Cretaceous as a one-size-fits-all world. The diversity of life back then was far more complex and regionally diverse than we often give it credit for. Alright, that's a wrap on Mexidracon. What do you think those insanely long hands were really used for? Also, if you could have any dinosaur feature for yourself, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear your theories. Thank you so much for listening to Dino Man Podcast. This is your host, Tyler Williams, signing out.